Next is DJ Moore. What do you think of him? Because this is somebody who we know is a big-time talent, but for DJ Moore to pay off his wide receiver 23 ADP at 46 overall, Justin Fields needs to take a Jalen Hurts-like leap as a passer.
Yeah, I'm in on DJ Moore just because I think he's really good. And we know that, when his time at Maryland, he was a really electric wide receiver, entered the league. He's just never had that quarterback play. I think much more highly of Justin Fields maybe than other people do. I liked him in college. I thought he was a solid prospect. It's weird with Justin Fields. Like, on draft day, everyone's like, how isn't everyone letting this guy slide? And then he gets into the league and everyone's like, he stinks. He can't play. And now this year it's like, wait a minute, why is everyone overlooking Justin Fields? But when we're talking about DJ Moore, it's a guy who can win at any level of the field. He can, he can run the short routes. He can beat you deep. He can be a possession guy. But with the amount that we think they're going to throw the ball there, which might not be a ton, and the added weapons of, they still have Darnell Mooney. They added Chase Claypool last year. Is he going to see wide receiver one type volume? Would you rather have him or a team that's going to throw the ball probably 150 more times?
So I'm sitting there where DJ Moore's coming off the board, and the TJ Hawkinson's there, and maybe Jahmyr Gibbs falls a little bit. Kenneth Walker's there. If there's an interesting guy, maybe you take one of those running backs there. Maybe you take the tight end. You could also maybe take a quarterback. You could take Joe Burrow's going in that range. Maybe you drafted Jamar Chase early. So, yeah, he's a guy I haven't been drafting a whole lot of. I'll tell you one guy, though, who's next in the ADP in this kind of presumed dead zone, who I have seen so many differing opinions on, and that's Keenan Allen. Especially on Underdog, which is half PPR. I can't get there, but Scott Barrett astutely reminded me before last year when his season was completely derailed by the hamstring. And by the way, Keenan Allen did average 6.6 catches and 75.2 yards per game last year, which are still elite numbers.
13 points a game and a half PPR.
Before that, he had basically a 5-season run where he averaged over 100 catches per season, about 1,200 yards per season, and about 6 touchdowns per season. Now he's going into his age 31 season, and he's coming off a year in which he had a severe handicap with the hamstring injury. I haven't been able to get there, and I'm just wondering if I'm being stupid. Look, they drafted a receiver in the first round, though. Now we think Justin Herbert's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Are we overthinking this with Keenan Allen? Is the question I have.
That's a great way to frame it, because you could look back in October, November, you're like, man, why is my team struggling? And you look up and down your league standings and the guy in first place, you're like, guy's got Keenan Allen. He drafted him as his wide receiver 3. The guy's putting up great numbers.
In the 5th round,
Yeah. Keenan Allen last year, I referenced the 13.1 points per game on average and a half-point PPR. That's aided by a week 18 26 burger. But so what you're getting most of the weeks out of Keenan Allen in a half PPR, which is Underdog, I can tell you what he did last year, weeks 11 on. 9.9, 13.4, 17, 15, 12, 15, 9, and then that big 26. So outside of week 18, is he winning you a lot of weeks? No, but he's really, really solid. And I think sometimes, like we mentioned before, the boring guys last year at running back, like Miles Sanders, sometimes those guys, if they stay healthy, and we can't predict injury, sometimes those guys just produce and they win. Anytime you got Keenan Allen on a team and he's healthy, he's always producing for you. So I'm with you. I do think we're putting a little too much in, Keenan Allen's washed up. I don't know about that. I think I'd still take another run on him at that ADP.
Yeah, and the question now becomes, would I rather have Keenan Allen or DJ Moore, a younger, more talented player who's in a much more precarious situation? And maybe I'd rather have Allen.